Here's my Zero SR. Let's look at the look at my mileage here. So mileage, I'm at 3912, so 3,912, and I'm basically just about worn out with my tires again, my second set of tires. You see the front right here, the wear bar. Where's the wear bar? Can't tell the wear bar, but anyways, it's on the sides. It's pretty much almost balding. The center still has a little bit of life, but that's typical of motorcycles, right? So on the rear, again, typical motorcycles, the center wears out a little bit more than the sides, so that my side still has some life left. As you can see, the sides still have some grooves left, but the center is just about worn out. So right here, you can still see the center groove on this side, but on this side, you see it's almost bald. So yeah, so it's almost bald on on the left side. It always wears out a little bit more on the left side than it does on the right side. So anyways, yeah, so I'm about to change these tires again. Or these ones are which ones are these? These are the Bridgestone. Where's the? Here it is. Bridgestone S22 tires. So this bike stock came with the Diablo Rosso 2s, and those one lasted. The front lasted less than 2,000. The rear lasted a little bit over 2,000. So here I'm at 39. So basically, now I would say my front has 2,000 miles on this front, and the rear has about maybe 1,800 miles or so. I think I changed the rear at 2150, I believe. So about 1,800 miles on the rear, and they're done. And you're wondering, oh wait a minute, that means this set of tires wore out faster. These S22s are wearing out faster than the Diablo Rosso 2s. So you're like, oh, it's better to get Diablo Rosso 2s, get a couple extra 100 miles. But the reality is that I think these tires, well, I know these tires, they have more grip, so more traction. So because of that, because of the increased grip and traction, I actually started riding them faster and harder than I did on the Rosso 2s. I never ridden the Rosso 2s as hard as I ever did with these tires. So because of that, that is the reason why these wore out a little bit faster. I think if I rode them the same, these ones will actually last longer than the Rosso 2s, a little bit longer, I believe. Probably a couple 100 miles longer if I rode them like the same way. But the reality is that these ones are just they just have more grip, more traction. So I rode them even harder than I ever did the Rosso 2s. The funny thing is that the first ride on these tires, every time I put on new tires, the first ride I always take it easy because you never know with new tires. But after that, after the first ride, I rode these things pretty much hard the whole time, and they stayed grippy and gave me traction the whole entire time, all the way until now. Basically, even now they still have really good traction, and they still surprisingly handle really well too. Usually when tires wear out, they handle kind of funny because the shape is all goofy. They get squared off and such. But these ones they stay the same, versus the Rosso 2s. Those ones, the first 1,000 miles they were pretty decent. They were actually pretty good the first 1,000 miles, but after the first 1,000 miles, they just degraded. They just started having less traction. I had to basically the first 1,000 miles I rode them pretty hard. Then the second 1,000 miles I didn't. I just took it more easy on them because they weren't as predictable. They weren't as grippy. So yeah, the Rosso 2s. So let's see, I've gone through how many sets now? I think I've gone through 3 different sets of Rosso 2s. So I have obviously the original tires on here were Rosso 2s. So that's one set. Original tires on my Monster here. On my Ducati Monster, it was also Rosso 2s. So those are worn out, and these are new tires here. So that's 2 sets. Then, and you, if you follow me at all, watch my videos, you know that this is the Zero here. This is my second Zero SR. So my first Zero SR, obviously they come with the Russell 2, so obviously I wore those tires out. So that's right there. 3 sets of Russell 2s, and I just don't like them. I think for the price to performance, the S22s are probably the best value out there. You compare to the Rosso 2s. Rosso 2s are, I think, a little bit, probably about the same price as the S22s are. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but about the same price. And these S22s are definitely better. Other low-cost sport tires are the Dunlop GPR 300, I believe they're called. Those ones are the lowest cost for sure. Those ones are really, really cheap. But those ones, and the performance is surprisingly really well too. They probably perform just as well as the Rosso 2s are, or maybe slightly better, or I would say about the same, give or take, very close. And I would say that those ones, for the price, I would actually choose the Dunlop GPR 300s over the Rosso 2s because of the price difference. As far as performance, they're about the same. They wear about the same as well, at least for smaller bikes. I think on the Dunlop 300s on a bigger bike, they tend to wear out kind of fast because they were meant for smaller bikes, like entry level sport bike. They weren't really meant for like bigger bikes. So those are, I would say, the budget king as far as performance. But even then, even though these ones cost more, I would still choose these tires over the Dunlop GPR 300s. I think they perform that much better. And through the whole life too, from the beginning all the way to the end, they perform really well and they're predictable. Whereas the Dunlop 300s and the Rosso 2s, the first half of the life is pretty good, and the second half it's not as well. It drops. And I don't think they last that long either. Especially the Dunlop GPR 300s. Those ones seem to wear out pretty fast. At least for bigger bikes. For smaller bikes, they seem to be about the same as as the Rosso 2s or maybe even the S22s. But on bigger bikes, they don't. Anyway, so that's my look at the S22s. So I really like these. So my next set of tires are actually I have some Road 6, Michelin Road 6. And this bike, I use this bike as a commuter bike, so I need my tires to last longer. The reason why I got these ones because I wanted to try them out. I never tried the S22s out before. So now actually, no, you know what? No, I take that back. I have tried the S22s before. I had the S22s on my XSR 900. But when I had them on there, did I? Let's see. Did I ride them? Yeah, actually I did ride them all the way through the whole life. So so I had those on there. So I really like those, and that's a big bike right there, right? So they ran really good on that big bike, and they lasted a good amount of time for what they were as well. So this is my second set of S22s, and I really like these. These are probably the best value to performance and longevity. Cost, performance, longevity, and not just performance in the dry. Also, surprisingly, in the wet, they ride pretty decent for what they are. I wasn't. They weren't They were very predictable in the dry and in the wet. Where some other tires, in the dry they're fine, but in the wet they're kind of sketchy. These ones are actually, they're not sketchy. They're actually very predictable. So I like these. So if I ever to go with the performance tires again, I will probably choose these ones. There are other performance tires that are better. Like for example the Michelin Power RS. Those ones are fantastic. Those were one of the best sport bike tires I've ever tried. and they're definitely better than these ones, but they are so expensive that it doesn't, and the lifespan on them is the same as this one, so I can't justify the price on those when I could get the same performance, almost. Now I wouldn't say the same performance, almost very close to the same performance with these ones. And the reality is that the performance on these tires are better than I could perform. These tires are better than me, so I don't need anything better than this. So the Power S were fantastic tires, but they're so expensive. I mean, emissions is so expensive. So anyways, my next set of tires are the Road 6. So I'm gonna probably stick with those tires, Road 6 or even Road 5s. I'd probably rather use Road 5s because I really like the Road 5s. The reality is that here where I live, we don't get that much rain. When we do get rain, it's not real heavy, so it's not that bad. So the Road 5s are fine. And I think the Road 5s I mean, I haven't really tried Road 6 yet, so I can't really say, but just looking at the voids on the Road 5s versus the Road 6, the Road 5s have less voids. So I think they're a little better in dry performance than the Road 6 are. But we'll see after I put the Road 6 on this bike and I do the initial review and I'll do the long-term review like I am with these ones. So yeah, so overall these are fantastic tires. I highly recommend these ones. All right, thanks for watching.